in year 1, I could date an SS3 boy.
Dimma.
I could do it. What's there? When I was in year 1.
Your boyfriend will be wearing uniform.
Yeah, when I was in first year, what are people giving each other aside, I love you, I love you? I would date SS3 boy when I was in year 1.
Then
It's not 17, 16.
You're not telling me about Introtech homework. Always.
I had just finished writing Introtech. I'll help him. Listen. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching dimmaumeh today with a special guest. I'm here with Jola baby. This video has been highly requested and we've been talking about doing something together since before COVID.
Since we met, Seth.
Listen. So like I'm super excited. I'm going to try to not like guys, I talk with my whole body.
The both of us do.
Listen.
Like I just feel like I'm just holding
Like
myself.
this, because the last video that I did, although I've removed tracking, I don't think that it should be that much of an issue because it's kind of stable now. But guys, I'm really excited. Both of us, like I said in that question, we are largely on serious people. Anybody that is asking us here to help us save our life, I don't know what to tell you. But guys, we got a lot of questions we're going to be answering. I'm going to let Jola introduce herself because I don't even know where to start. Jola does it all, okay? So I'm going to let her do her own intro, just introduce her awesome self. And then after that, we're going to tackle the questions. So Jola, baby.
All right. My name is Jola Ayeye. Call me Jola or Jols, whichever one is fine. I am a screenwriter. I co-own a production company called Salt and Truth. I am also a podcaster. I co-host I Said What I Said, which is the biggest podcast out of Africa. And then I run a book club called the Happy Noisemaker Book Club. And then I'm very invested in charity work and stuff like that.
She's also a struggling YouTuber. I'm going to put her YouTube channel. I
don't think I've posted anything for like
I keep telling her I want her to be more active here. So I'm basically
maybe this is
yes. Like by the time you guys hear her talking, I'm sure you guys will want to see her talk more. So I'm going to have her YouTube channel in the description box. You guys should please make sure you check that out. By the way, when I posted that we were doing this, FK was like, you people are doing a video without me? What? Sending you guys negative vibes. Can you imagine?
Don't mind that.
I was like, don't worry.
FK, you people do your own later.
I told her. Maybe I can just say this, but one question I think that we have about maybe at least a solid 20 people asking here is, how did you guys meet?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I think I was already watching your YouTube from when you were in Enugu. Even though I wasn't using it for anything. Like I'll just sit down and watch and rewatch over and over again. But then I think we started communicating from Twitter.
Twitter, definitely. Yeah. Jola was actually recommended to me. It's not like...
Oh, really?
Yes! It's not like I knew somebody who knew you and was like, no. Jola was recommended. And then I think I did a follow. So when actually, let me tell you guys how I started following Jola. Just to show you people how amazing this girl is. I had come on Twitter, and this was, I think, in 2017. And the floods that we have going on right now in the country, we had a version of that flood. At that time, I don't think it was as bad as it is now because a lot of states are affected. But that year, Benue and Lokoja definitely were affected. Yeah. I came on, it was such a sad thing. Everybody was talking about it. I was like, is there any place where I can donate to victims of the flood? And a lot of people started tagging Jols. They were like, oh, if you want to donate, Jols is doing a campaign for them and people are contributing. That's amazing. So Jola was taking in donations for the victims of the flood. And then from that we just started talking and kind of acting each other.
Friends.
And then the first time that we had lunch at Sabor.
Yes.
I remember clearly because it was this random afternoon. But yeah, that's how
we
Twitter.
had so much fun.
Yeah.
So the first question I'm going to read is a book question. Since how many books have you read this year and what was your favorite? So I set a target. My target this year was to read 80. But I already read more than that according to my book tracker.
Where do you find the time?
So I think I read 90 something. But what was my favorite book this year? Okay, I can't pick one. But I really enjoyed Daily Wed's Destiny.
Oh yeah, you talked about. I haven't read that.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think it just made me feel. I don't know. I haven't felt like somebody was getting Nigerian context right in a long time. So that really did a lot for me. Lessons in Chemistry.
Is that by a Nigerian author?
No, that one is a foreign author. It's by Bonnie Garmus, and just the context of the stories. So both stories are women centered as well. But Lessons in Chemistry set in the 50s. The main character in Lessons in Chemistry is just this really clever, really brilliant woman who just wants to work in her chosen field of science, but the world doesn't really have focus on that. I actually want people to go and read the book, so I'm not going to say more. But those two books I really, really, really enjoyed. You, Nko?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've not read as many books as I think I should have this year. My reading has been very, very slow. The crazy thing is I've been recommending a lot of books, but so I think that in total this year, maybe I've read about 4 or 5, which I think is just not good enough. But then, to be honest, like I've read about 5 books, and I think that the best thing I've read this year is like a collection of short stories, and I've talked about it a lot, and it is Of This Our Country. Have you read that?
I got the book.
It's not actually short stories. I keep saying short stories, but essays. But they are short stories as well at the end of the day.
2 friends of mine actually have essays in there.
Yeah. So it's a collection of essays by Nigerian authors. So you have the really great, some of the new up and coming ones. It's just a very big mix of people. And I read it, and some stories just like they've stuck with me, or some essays have stuck with me since then. And it's also one of those things that you know these authors, but you've not read their work, and you read one story from them, and then you want to go read their work. So
Yep. That's really I think with the reading thing. So it's also like if you are reading like good quality books, you just keep going. And that's why I created a book club. Like I read a lot of mid books that are just like, oh, okay. So I don't recommend those ones. I only recommend the books I really, really enjoy. So that if the only books people are reading are the ones I recommend, they actually genuinely keep going back. Because I feel what happens is like if you really enjoy one book and then the book you read after is just okay, you're not as incentivized to kind of go back. It's almost like watching shows on like a streaming service. You watch one, like that's my dad with Netflix. He watched The Crown. That's the first show he ever watched. So in his mind, he just assumed like everything is going to be. So when he will not be calling me like he's looking for things to watch, but it's not that level. So he gets bored faster and stuff. I don't know anybody that is more excited about season 5 of The Crown like my father.
You know, I've not watched The Crown.
What? I think he will really enjoy it. No. Honestly, like I think he will really, really enjoy it. Like it will surprise you.
I don't know why it's one of those things. I feel like I want to watch it when it's done.
You don't go done, no. Family that is still alive.
Well, I think I'm actually just, and it's really considering that I actually like period pieces. Like, I think I'll like it, Abby.
Yeah, no, you will. You will. I think you will. Okay, so someone asks, do we regret moving back to Nigeria? Regret is a strong word. I think the word is, sometimes I wish I had planned my life differently. So I took for granted the idea that Nigeria was just going to continue on an upward trajectory when I was moving back. I think I thought of the creative industry in Nigeria moving like exponentially like it does in other places. And like the opportunities available are really magnified in my mind. I didn't take into account a lot of things like Nigerian politics, like how I thought like corruption was a very public sector thing. So even within like what we do, like it will shock you. It will shock you like how like marketing departments move, PR companies move.
Well, I don't want to start off.
Let's
all
not
that.
go there.
First of all I can say, Jola, sorry for cutting you off because I want us to be brief. Is that video help me, they carry me go where I don't know. That's great because we kind of moved back around the same time. Jola was good. A lot of things were making, at least it wasn't this bad. Countries were delivering, like there was this sense of things would get better, like, oh, like we're not going to be here. I don't know, it's just like very, very upside down. And the thing that she said about like corruption, she thought it was a very public sector thing, not even something that our generation was that involved in. It was something you probably see with civil service or people who are in government. You come in, you see people who are your age. And that's actually, I think, around the time that it dawned on me that we just generally have a power problem. You give a security man, like, keep him in charge of a gate and you see how he would treat people who are coming in through there. It's standard. You see it everywhere. People just move weird. The truth is that, like she said, regret is a very strong word, and I wouldn't say that I regret moving back. It's just that this was not where I thought that this country would be around the time that I was moving back.
I think that's the hard part for me. Particularly because the industry that we're in is actually not up to the government, right? Our success within the industry, there's stuff that is like outside of the industry that can help us, but within the industry, some things go really wrong, and you know that it's up to it's a private individual that is in charge of this mess up. But like you said, let's just keep it brief. How comfortable are you when you go out knowing that people will recognize you? It depends on what I'm doing, innit? What do the two of you do for self-care?
What are your favorite self-care activities?
Reading is actually like
Yeah.
a really big
Good.
part of how I relax. I really love my friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very healthy, but I like social media. So when Twitter is not being like wicked, it's a very funny platform.
Yeah.
Nigerians are so funny.
But do you think that Twitter has been being more wicked than fun of late? The Twitter that I think that I am on now is so different from the 2017 Twitter that lured me in.
But that place was toxic that year. People did not have the same level.
Maybe I just didn't know. I wasn't following.
Yeah. So it's actually not healthy, but social media. I like going out with my friends. I like talking with my friends. I'm trying to become more conscious of like going to like the spa and things like that, because it's not like an automatic thing for me. Like I don't automatically choose that as like a self-care routine thing.
I actually don't think it does anything for me.
I spend money I don't have.
Yeah.
Buy wig, buy clothes.
Yeah. I feel like when I'm moving mad, recklessly where money is concerned is always when there's something heavy on my hand. God. Between last year and beginning of this year, the decisions I made where money is concerned, so I just buy myself stuff to make myself happy. Reading is good, but then I don't just read anything. Like if for me self-care reading is romance. If I'm not guaranteed a happy ending at the end of that book, then I don't like. I do other types of reading when when you're curious or when the book is popular or when you like. There are certain things I think that I read when I'm in different moods, but when I am after feeling good, I always just gravitate towards romance books because at least like it's like comfort food for me.
It's like from the beginning
like it's going to end well. It's going to be a happy ending. There'll be
men are always rich.
Yes, and handsome.
They always say sorry.
They're always emotionally intelligent.
So,
they are sexy. Those things. So
we answered. A lot of people wanted to know how we met too. Now
I told you a lot of people were asking how did you guys meet.
Someone is asking how you are. Said how are you, Dim?
I am fine. I get this question every time I do a Q&A, and I think it's very thoughtful that a lot of you or some of you actually want to know, but I'm fine. One thing I can say for sure is that I wasn't, with every single time you guys see me, by the grace of God and thankfully, I'm just never where I was the last time you guys saw me. And it's not like instant everything is fine, but it's very positive progress. So that's it.
I'm happy to hear that because I always ask her the same question anyway. So someone says, would you rather never wear perfume again or never wear makeup again? Everybody knows that my answer is very easy.
I would rather never wear makeup again than not wear perfume. Like,
what? I'm currently not even wearing makeup, so it doesn't like that one is very easy for me.
No, I also take smelling good very seriously.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is a good question. Please, can I get advice on how to make girlfriends as an adult?
Jola, answer.
Adult and friends.
Answer, sorry.
I think shoot your shot, but be prepared for it not to go exactly the way you want. Also, be open to different types of friendships. So there are some friends you talk to every single day. Dimma and I are actually very, very close, but we don't talk every day. Sometimes we're not talk for weeks as well. But I'm not going to hide anything from her. Like I tell her, and like there's nothing I'll hide from Chidima, but it doesn't mean we talk every day. Funny enough, there are some people that you talk to every day or even more regularly, but your conversations are very shallow. It's just like, oh, how are you? You're looking good. You're looking well. I want to talk to you about something later. It might be more business, but just because you're doing business, you talk more regularly. So I think tiered friendships will help.
Very important.
Yeah. Don't get carried away with Hollywood versions of friendships where you see
social media.
Yes, I think the idea that everybody wants to contentify their life, like everything needs to be content worthy, from the way you live to where you eat to who you date, how you date them. All of that stuff is putting people under pressure. So shoot your shot. Think of the kind of personality you want, not the look, because I'm seeing that become a thing. Yeah, there's a look, like some people want a friendship, there's a look that there's an impression they're trying to create.
Yep.
And so they're curating potential friendships along that line and getting disappointed.
Yep.
Just be open to people you vibe with, people who share your values, just people that you're on the same wavelength with. And even if you're supposed to be on the same wavelength and it doesn't work, it's okay. Like just be open to trying. What do you think?
I agree with everything that she said. Jola is a lot more extroverted. I am an introvert. So with the shooting shots thing, like Jola will probably do it more often than I do. Like Jola is probably the kind of person who will... I wish that I could. Do you understand? Even like, because I feel like even us, both of us becoming friends, a lot of it came with me because Jola was very clear and like it was very, very clear, right? Me, I'm the kind of person who would think and rethink it and think it and rethink it. Do you understand? And then I keep stalling. So the fact that she was very easygoing and I'll make a couple of points when it comes to this. Made it very, very easy. So I would say shoot the shots if you can, and also be open to receiving shots when people shoot it, because that also helps. It's because I was receptive to shooting shots with certain friendships that I have now. That was how I was able to receive it. And when I was much younger, for some reason, I find it easier to shoot shots. But I think that maybe the older I got, and even with my career path, it kind of made it. My friend Fejiro now, there was a day I was insulting her. I literally chased Fejiro the way a guy would chase a babe.
I had just on friendships like
I had
that.
just moved to Lagos, and I used to look at this babe. She was serving at a Tessa Dare with me. She looked like she knew her way about everywhere. Like she was like, I did not even know anything JJC. And I remember I was trying to talk to her, and she would be like at the point I was like, she was probably like, who is this one? But I was very persistent, and that's how and like Fejiro is literally one of my favorite people. She laughs about it now, but then she's also she's very reserved, and she would never have gone about it the way I did. But sometimes go about it like that, you know. One thing again, I say, be very discerning. I think that is very, very important. There was a conversation I saw on Twitter recently about people who literally even want to be you. I have had that.
My sister.
Hey! Things are happening.
There's that one. Then there's also people who get close to you to, I don't know if demystify is the word.
Demystify.
They want to see you finish.
Listen,
the entire aim.
Babe, even outside of friendship, even work. When I come and say, excuse me, I'm looking for somebody to work with me. Some people want, listen,
girl.
There was this, I don't want to get into it, but some people they want proximity, like they want to see you. It's that whole demystifying, like she said. And it's the same thing with friendship. So that is the reason why when it even comes to work now, and I feel like the moment I learned some of the lessons that I learned, like the group of people that I'm literally working with right now, and this is not me even saying anything, is they're literally some of the best people I have ever worked with. And it's because I have taken notes. Okay, I've taken serious notes now, and I know what to look out for and what not to look out for. And in friendships, there are people. Sometimes what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that I think I was not listening to your spirit can tell you. If you don't know peace when it comes to certain people, it's like this friction. If there's this constant, like it's rubbing against you wrong. Never ever ignore that. It's very, very important. But like me and Jola said, shoot shots, be open to shooting shots. And sometimes I see some people saying that they don't have friends, or they don't have friends. And I've seen it happen a lot recently, where some people, you have like a solid group, 4 or 5 people, maybe they're not content social media savvy, maybe they're not social media savvy or content savvy, or maybe not even, they don't have enough money to travel like the way you see people traveling together on Instagram. But these are your ride or dies. These are people who will pick the phone every time you call them. These are people who will drop what they are doing to come to your aid. They are actually your friends. Do you understand? So it's this whole like content savvy thing we're talking about, where we think about what social media has kind of tried to define friendship as to us, and when ignoring people within our circles, like our ride or dies, people who are already there. Shoot your shots, be open to receiving it, and please do not ignore the people who you already have there.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay. Someone said a random talent we wish we had. You do have.
I wish I could dance like all these people that
Dimma, I beg.
I wish I could dance. I'm doing that. Girl, have you seen someone that Megan Thee Stallion, her bum bum is doing wiggle? I cannot.
No, that one, we don't even have the equipment. Even if you can dance, if you don't have the equipment, you just be looking like you're possessed.
Okay, what the hot stepping? These people, I cannot do any of those things. I can't dance, guys. I wish I could dance. My sister can dance. Noma can dance.
Really?
What? Noma can dance, but I can't. And you know the funny thing is, one of those things that I feel like I've just always been too shy to try.
You have to start. You have to practice in front of in your house. I'm not joking. That's actually because I dance. So you have to practice. So you have to shame yourself in private.
And you know that there are YouTube tutorials.
You have to shame yourself in private.
You know that there are YouTube
get
tutorials
mirror everywhere. You have to continue practicing.
Guys, I'm just too shy. What talent do you wish you had?
I wish I could like paint. I don't have art skills like painting, pottery, and I'm not there's something, I forget the Yoruba term for it, people that are good with handwork. So there's somebody I know like that. Do you know Imoteda?
Yeah.
The chef.
Yes.
Yeah. You know she used to be a makeup artist.
Oh really?
She has done pottery.
Oh,
She can
wow.
make candles. Like she's one of those people that
So
like
she's very
she uses
creative
her
then.
hand. Like once anything that is like
she
use your
does-
hand. Yeah, some people are like that. I really wish because you know like how you visit some people and you're like, oh, who made this mirror? Who built this for you? They'll be like, oh, I built this thing,
it.
or I designed this, or they'll like take up pottery and you know all those paint and sip. Now only the sip I do. I don't paint because because I'm just not good. I'm not good at it. So I wish I was someone who's like who was gifted with crafts, like handcrafts. Okay. Someone said, how did you deal with brokenness in your 20s? Everyone is rich on social media and you really wonder how you got left out. My sister, we are all living fake life. Please come and join us.
Let me tell you, it's not even about living fake life and join us. I feel like one thing I feel like in this Lagos, around time I moved here, and even when I lived here the first time, I know they go out. Let me tell you people something here.
Yo!
There is nothing, one thing I observed that would run you raggedy dry. Even as an industry person now that I kind of consider myself to be, it is even worse.
It's worse.
That is the reason why if I look at the invitation, or people who go and put the theme would be Princess Bella and Balenciaga something, I have to pay tailor to make all these things for me. Living a certain type of life in this Lagos, being out all the time is expensive.
Yeah.
So my thing is, for me, that's one particular area of my life that I feel like saves me a lot of money.
You stay at home.
I stay at home. Staying at home largely and going out with people that I really care about. And I feel like if you're very extroverted and you kind of, these type of things bring you a certain type of joy, then you have to know how to really style your clothes and recycle. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I remember the first time I did a house tour, the last house tour that I did, and I showed my clothes, I showed the wardrobe where my clothes were. Some people were in the comment section saying that, Dimma, this cannot be all your clothes, that you're lying, that some of it, they are not here. But people don't understand.
No, Dimma is actually a very, very like simple person.
Like, bruh. And I think that largely saves me a lot of money.
I think a big thing we don't really talk about is how social media and like the current Nigerian value system, if you're Nigerian, doesn't really celebrate contentment. It doesn't help you feel like you are.
This is somebody that knows how to speak English.
So a lot of people feel like they are entitled to a luxurious life.
Yes.
Not a good life. Yeah. A luxurious life.
A life that looks good,
an aesthetically pleasing life. So it's not enough that you have the luxury of being able to take a break. And when I mean take a break, I don't mean like go on a big holiday. Like just take a few days off. Your days off are not valid if you can't hop on a first class flight to an exotic destination. Yeah. And the fact that you can buy clothes is not enough. You must be able to buy clothes that look a certain way from a certain place. And you must have hair that looks a certain way from a certain place. Yeah. And you can't just have nice makeup on. It must be a certain brand. Yeah. And that attitude is more common than we know, and we fall into that rat race very easily. I'm saying it from experience. Like you very quickly start to become dissatisfied with time and process and your life where you are, where you're supposed to be, because you are told that the life you have is just not enough. Like period, like you're a loser, you're not working hard enough, you are not smart enough, you're not sharp enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not worthy enough. So even with like going out to eat and stuff, you know, that's something that if you can see my cheeks, I personally do love it. But you think about the places that your tastes start to go towards, and those bills just don't make sense. But you feel a type of way because everybody else seems to be able to go to those types of places. So if you can't go, what does it say about you? You know, if you can't wear a brand that's popping, what does it say about you? So I think being broke in your 20s is actually normal. I'm 30 years old and I'm still broke. Like, let me tell you, people are shy to talk about money. People are talking about money. Like, I know the number of messages I got when FK and I did a money episode where we spoke, like, she was like, Jola, how much do you make? Like, I think people also, Lagos is very smoke and mirror. Social media is smoke and mirror.
That's true.
So you might go somewhere and order a starter and water, but as far as people are concerned, you went to the place. Yeah. And that's all that matters.
And that's all. And you took pictures And that's what matters.
So I think that being broke is not something to be ashamed of. Yeah. You're an honest, hardworking person. Yeah. You shouldn't be ashamed of the fact that you're not financially as buoyant as people expect you to be. And the truth is that life is in cycles. You have money today, you don't have tomorrow. Like, that's just the way it is. You can't make the money you have or the money you don't have the entirety of your personality.
This is so true, and just like to just emphasize everything that she said, because we're even talking about social media and all of that, even within the circles. So let me tell you something, like, I think that maybe with the way that I was raised and whatever, I don't want to sound somehow, but I've never been someone who has ever struggled with it. I'm very, very good at cutting my coat according to my size. Yeah. And when I first moved to Lagos, like, also what started making me keep to myself is that I have never seen a society that judged you based on what you presented at a particular point in time. The experiences, how comfortable I was. Like, I remember then, the first place I lived in Agungi, it was a 2-bedroom that I was living in. It was a service place. I had lights all the time. I would go back home. I would eat. Do you understand? I felt like the things that carried strong value, I had it. Some of these people were perching in BQs. I don't know if I'm making sense now. Some of them were perching in BQs, did not have cars, but they were carrying things that to me, I'm like, and then you still had the right to judge. And then I would come the way I'll just come and I'll be there. And you would hear talk. Yeah. And they'll be like, this one that doesn't even have this one. What does she know? But I have lights. I sleep with lights when I go back. Like, this is just to give you guys context. So I've never been someone who would go off, right? And you look at me like, I'll look at you straight in the eyeballs and I'll just be like that. So what I want you to, especially in your 20s, like, you have all the time in this world to flex.
Bruh.
It's coming.
Trust.
It's coming. Don't let people who you really do not even know how life is like for them stress you. Yeah. And that's one thing. If you see me going anywhere to eat now, it's because I feel like I can go here at least 4 or 5 times and come back and I know that I can afford it. I don't want, like, I just don't want stress. And that's, I think, that you live your life like that. That's it. You don't let peer pressure. And in this Lagos, it is such a thing.
Even this thing you said about going to events, like, I get invited to a lot of things. Yeah. I don't go for everything. I don't go for half of the things I'm invited to. I don't go for like a quarter of what I'm invited to. But even at that, like,
you're not going to go and
do you want me
stress yourself out? Yes. Do you understand?
Particularly because when I started realizing that, and I'm talking specifically to people who are admiring, like, the idea of being a content creator or working in media, because I work in Nollywood as well. So I know you don't realize how many people are paid to be at events. And then
you don't also realize how many people are pulling. You don't realize how many people are pulling outfits from designers and brands that they are not paying for. Yeah. They literally pull these clothes, return them. And that's not a bad thing, because it's a good thing. Actually. But then you're busy tensioning yourself because someone is wearing something you know to cost 200,000 naira as a dress, right? They didn't even pay for them. Like, the designers gave them these clothes to wear just for, like, publicity awareness. Don't let people... You have so much more than some of all these people that you're looking at.
Someone asked why I'm always wearing wigs. Because I ain't got hair, baby.
That's not true. I have real life evidence that you have hair.
No, but my hair is not... So I'm working on, like, growing my hair. I've had traction alopecia for a while. So I just started treating my hair recently.
What are you doing?
So I just go and sit down in her salon every week, So that's why. But then I'm also very vain. That's part of it. I love, like...
Jola is I told Jola today when she came in that Jola is the only real life person I know that has red human hair. Like, she has it in colors. She's not buying synthetic colored wigs. Jola is buying midnight blue human hair. That is how Jola doesn't play with her hair.
I also think because, so for me, because I don't like wearing makeup, I take care of my skin, and I have nice hair,
and her skin is glowing, baby.
Yeah, so for me, it's just a thing that makes me feel good, because I also have mood swings as well, and I'm very insecure about my hair. So I pay attention to what I can do to make me feel better about it. That's basically the answer.
And everybody should mind their business and live and let others live. To be honest, like.
So someone says, how do you feel about being a firstborn daughter, and what are the pressures? We're not going to answer. They should go and listen to the episode, the first episode that Dimma was on. That's all we spoke about, because all 3 of us are firstborn daughters. Yeah. So we full, like, almost 2 hours of talking about this exact thing. Yes. What's your favorite thing about each other? Dimma is a very, like, principled person, but she's also very kind. So I think it's something that I think people see her life as like, oh, she's like she does things in a very aesthetically pleasing way. She's, you know, she's very good at beauty, and you know, she's very organized. But Dimma is genuinely like a really kind person. Like since I've known her, she's always looked out for me in the way she can. She always goes out of her way for us to spend time together. If I tell her things, she doesn't judge me, even if she doesn't agree. She'll just give me like her own advice. She's very kind. Like, and for what's in the worry? And for me, that's
Sorry, continue.
And for me, that's just really important. Kindness is very important to me, and that's why like she's one of my closest friends. I just think she's just a very kind and principled person. Dimma has her beliefs in what she will and won't do, what she will and will not compromise on with work, with relationships, with finances, and I really, really admire that, because I tend to not trust in my convictions sometimes. So it's very nice when I see like people I admire and people I respect being able to be firm in their convictions. So if I'm shaky about something and I ask Dimma, she will just remind me of why that's something that I believe in the first place. So yeah, apart from the fact that she's also like very put together and all that fantastic stuff.
How? Where do I start from? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So
but that was so sweet. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you guys, my favorite thing about Jola is that Jola is so brave. I don't listen to me. You listen. Let me tell you something. Some of the times when maybe I have reinforced certain things or kind of helped her make some sense, I didn't even know that I was doing that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that Jola will speak her truth. You people do not know. In her mind, she might think that's just her being stubborn. No, it is so brave. Like there are lessons. Serious lessons. And I remember there are times when I have been genuinely worried about this girl. I have called Jola on the phone. My heart was beating. I was like, hey God,
yes,
Jola, oh please. But Jola is so brave. And bravery is not you. It's not about you walking out and having six packs and going to go and fight. No. Jola will know the truth. She will not shy away from me. Jola will tell you the truth as it is. And not even just to, she will speak, she will climb a bucket and speak it to the face of authority. You don't know what that is.
Oh.
I find that to be so remarkable. These are the people, because I know I've had a conversation with you around like, do you think that you ever go into politics and governance? And she genuinely really, really cares. And she's talked about, Jola is very passionate about, see, do you know I have goosebumps on my body talking about you? I'm being dead serious. When you're talking
so nice.
About like, it's not even about like, and I feel like I've been around like social media, just been around people to see or like fake, fake care and interest about certain things. I literally freaking learned about this girl because she was taking donations for people who are affected by flood. She's very, 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 very passionate about social issues. Anything we concern women, both of us we carry it on top of our head. We take that seriously. She cares so much about this country, irrespective of the fact that Nigeria has not been the kindest to Jola, but she's very, very passionate about Nigeria. And it also trickles down into her relationships with people as well. I remember when I was going through so much like last year, and you would not believe, but I was very tight-lipped. Like I wasn't talking about what I was going through. But Jola will be like, Chidinma, answer me. She didn't care. And I knew that.
Do you know what? I knew that at least it will make you laugh. I knew that something was wrong and you didn't want to talk. But I knew that last you see that message.
But she was also one of those people that I know that at least I was able to say to a certain degree what was going on too. Because I know that from Jola it's all love. So that's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
welcome. That's it.
Okay, let's see. What's your favorite Chimamanda book? This is a question.
Like we get this question so many times, and it's so crazy because even the last Q&A that I did. But my favorite Chimamanda book is Half of a Yellow Sun. And then her essay in
which one
of this our country, The Becoming.
Okay. It's Chimamanda.
It was
it's Chimamanda.
Like
I'm sorry.
I said this thing.
I'm such a fan girl.
I said this thing in the last video.
Like, I'm sorry.
I had read, you know that is so there were like about 5-6 stories before hers. By the time you get to her, like you just close the book. This is why this is my Chimamanda, because she wrote about Lagos in a way that some of us who were not born here feel about this place. It was so beautiful. But yeah.
For me, it's Purple Hibiscus, because that's the first book I read, and I read it when I was 12, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she's been writing for a while. So
And Purple Hibiscus packed a punch because I feel like a lot of people say, oh, they fell in love with Chimamanda after Half of a Yellow Sun, but I actually fell in love with her after
from the beginning,
Purple Hibiscus.
Purple Hibiscus was
Because that
funny.
book, especially it's about like a girl in her very, very formative years, how deeply she feels things. Like you could relate to it on so many levels.
So for me, for instance, like I'd never been to the East. I didn't have a lot of Igbo friends. I didn't know anything about Enugu or Nsukka. I didn't understand like what family dynamics were like.
For Igbo people.
Yeah, so for me that was the like first time I felt like I was reading, because it was also modern contemporary reading, and I just really enjoyed it. And like imagine reading that as a 12-year-old and the main character is like 15. So you just feel like, oh, this girl could be my senior in secondary school. I just really loved the book. I loved the style of writing. I hadn't read a lot of contemporary Nigerian novels by that age, so that was really what got me interested and invested. Before then, most of what I was reading was like Penguin books, Puffin classics, basically a lot of Oimbo books. So yeah. Okay, someone asked me to recommend 2 very sweet romance novels off the top of my head. Anything by Tessa Dare and anything by Lisa Kleypas.
Lisa Kleypas, her last, the Ravenels. Yes, the whole series. Go read it. Amazing.
Anything by the 2 of them.
Judith McNaught too has some really good books.
I don't mind money questions. When did you make your first million, and how did you celebrate, if you did? I don't know if this makes me sound spoiled, but I remember my first million was when my dad gave it to me. So that doesn't count.
So he just gave it to you as...
No, I was supposed to do something frivolous. It was a birthday thing.
Oh, okay.
So he gave it the first million naira.
No, my first million that entered my account, and I looked at it.
Yeah.
Was in 2017.
I think around the same time. I did I don't know whether it was consulting or influencing work.
It was influencing work for me, Sha. It was influencing work.
I had just moved back, and I asked somebody. At the time, I didn't know a lot, so somebody wanted me to do. I know that I actually lowballed myself, but at the time, it didn't feel like that. And somebody said I should do something for a consecutive number of days, something. There was a lot of work involved, and the only number I could think of in my head that was big money
was 1 million.
1 million naira. The way I knew that I had really, really messed up was that they agreed immediately.
Immediately when there's no just no
but at the time my salary was 150k, so what did I know? So yeah, and it was around the same time. It was in 2017, and I felt like, oh my god, how did I celebrate?
I actually didn't celebrate. I just probably called some people and told them.
I didn't tell anybody. I bought shawarma with 2 sausage. No phone, 2 sausage.
I just probably called my sister and I was like, Norma, can you imagine that these people just paid me XYZ? And she was like, oh my god, we're finally making it.
Someone asked about dating in Nigeria 30 plus. Okay, let me not lie. So there's lots of like weird stuff, but I find that there are things I've chosen to take seriously, and there are things that I've chosen to just permanently be as relaxed and open about. Love, relationships, dating is one of those things. Like a bad dating experience for me is just part of the game. Like the game is the game.
The game is the game.
The game is the game.
That's a good mindset.
Yes. Also, you realize very quickly that the way you were raised, your personal ideology you've developed, for somebody like me and somebody like Chidima, is not common.
Nope.
So you really do expect. So let me give you an example. I know that this is going to cause a bit of controversy. I remember discussing with a friend, and I said it's very interesting when very feminist women take extreme feminist ideals into relationships with men who weren't raised or think that way. You're setting yourself up for disaster. So imagine believing that you should split everything equally. But he really does believe that for the most part, he's helping you as a dad. He doesn't think child rearing is a core part of his thing. But it's to his advantage that you split the bills 50-50.
Yeah.
So he will agree with you on that. But he's not going to do 50-50 of the child labor. So you are the one that's now going to be at a disadvantage
Yeah.
because it's important to you to live out your feminist ideals.
Yeah.
But you're partnered with someone who is not on the same wavelength.
I agree.
That's in marriage. Now apply that, or in co-parenting. Now apply that to dating. The way you view relationships, the way you view dating, the way you view like romance and intention, whatever, in being over 30 in Nigeria, where like they are very marriage minded but it's also very patriarchal, is interesting to say the least. Thankfully, like I have a social circle that mitigates, so it's not as bad. Also, I just don't take many things seriously. Like I'm an empathetic person, so it's actually not good for me to take too many things seriously because it would be at the detriment of my mental health. In other words, Lagos men are not well. That's where I was going with all this big English I was speaking. They are crazy. But I am crazier. Ha! So
You see, everything that Jola said, everything she said, and I think that it's sometimes like it's some things that we say even around relationships are so easy for you to say it in theory. When it actually comes to practice and you see the type of person that you're actually dealing with or you're living it out with, a real life man who was raised in all the ways that you're complaining is wrong, you have to know that.
But people also think that because you're over 30, all those things you're saying is just mouth now. Do you understand? Like,
What does that
you
mean?
can be speaking all this feminist English when you're in your 20s. But as in time,
Oh,
don't
dear.
they go so... But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like one thing I was even saying, I remember some people being like, oh, one quick way that people are quick to reply feminists on Twitter would be like, oh, you people are here listening to these women, but they're married and they have their own husbands. And I'm like, shouldn't they serve as like hope and examples to you that people like this can actually get what they keep coming on here to say women deserve? Because do you think that they are partnered with people who are so opposite? Yes, some people might be and they're coming to pretend and speak English, but from my experience and just from observing people who I've seen are very, very vocal about these things, they get the closest to what is ideal most of the time with the people that they partner themselves with. So
Yeah.
that is what I think,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It can be horrible, it can be good, but most of the part is like, for the most part, it's really just, the game is the game. Like, so I also approach with good intentions as well, like the same way with friendships. I approach with an open mind and good intention. Vibes are not right, it doesn't work out. Oh well, yeah. Okay, so someone asked, so your faith with God, what do you struggle with and what have you figured out? Dimma, start with this one.
Why am I the one who's supposed to start?
Because
I feel like it's a work in progress. That is what it is largely for everybody. I think that the yearning is there. And I think that in the past year and a half, I've come to look at God. Like, to me, God is literally my friend now. Do you understand? I feel like a large part of me growing up is like me thinking about God as this big authority figure. When anything goes wrong, I think like he's punishing me for something. I had to learn and understand very strongly that God is in the midst of that pain all the time. And he's not in the midst of it looking at you like some insect. He's in the midst of it trying to help you. So you have to cut your
Not insect.
Yes. And most of the time people yearn, and I feel like if the yearning is a good indication that you need something. So kind of follow it most of the time, but I think it's me doing my part, praying as much as you can. Like, I think that praying is this very structured thing you do. You have to talk to God, approach him a certain type of way. You know, like almost the way we look at authority figures or elders here. That's not what it is now. Like, God is your friend, and if you know how you typically approach a friend, like that's how I do it now. I've had like the most random prayers answered. So
for me, I don't really know what's going on. I grew up in a very like spiritual household. My dad is actually like a preacher, not full time, but faith is very important to him. So I grew up around strong like pillars of faith. I understand what Christianity is. I understand I'm a Christian. That's not what is in doubt most of the time. My issue is that I really struggle with unbelief. And if you check the Bible, a lot of times people prayed about the spirit of unbelief or whatever. But a lot of things just don't make sense to me. That's one. But also two, I don't know if it's a rebellious spirit. But sometimes they'll say we should not do something else. Okay, that's good. That's cool. But I'm going to. I just don't like, or I just find it very difficult to. The reason I laughed when Dimma said it's not as if God is looking at you like an insect, because honestly, sometimes I feel like we're just specimen. Like the guy was just bored and I was like, do you know what I'm going to do? I will just cough. Anything that happens, let it happen. Why could I not be a samosa?
do you think that?
Why?
Do you think that You know, there's something about like not even having a very like strong spiritual background. Do you think that there's a seen it all, heard it all aspect of it there for you at the background? Like, what are you going to say to me now that I have not
That's
heard?
happening. So what is happening is when I'm trying to explain to people the difficulties I'm having with my faith, all their attempts at like
Trying to talk to you,
comforting
like,
your answer.
it's like you
I've
really
been hearing them,
them
since I was like old enough to comprehend what words mean. So
Do you also-
I am also very good at mimicking. So for peace sake, I know how to look like a fervent Christian.
Right.
Like I know how to imitate the actions that will give people the impression that all is well, but it may not be. But then I also don't like talking about this because I have the gift of speech. So I don't want people to take my difficulties as authoritative and imbibe that, because I know faith is very fragile. So I don't want people who are actually struggling with their faith and don't have the questions I do to take on my own stuff, and that like gives them even more. Yeah. So that's why I don't really want to talk about it, but I'm actually really struggling. I'm not gonna lie.
No. So the thing about it is like did I even say this? Because I think I was saying this to her before we even started filming. I was like, listen guys, if you people remember last year, I came and I gave a testimony on this channel basically talking about how a pain I had been dealing with for 7 years. You know, I talked about how it was gone. I had to go through this very traumatic surgery. It went, and then 1 month later I am back dealing with things that don't make sense. Do you understand? Nothing shakes your faith like a situation like that. But I told Jola before we started filming that my own is to hold God on his trouser, because there is no, like, I just hold him, because I'm like, literally, where do you go from here? There is no rationalizing, there is no speaking of English. And if it is about seeing doctors, I have gone through periods where, do you understand? I've also struggled with like parts of it where like, you know, questions and all of that. And I think that what I do during there are periods I feel like there are periods where I feel like if it's getting too hot, I just delete Twitter. I think that things that maybe sometimes bring you, or those things that put you in a situation where you're constantly questioning things, kind of distance yourself from them for a period of time. Just kind of cut yourself off from them. I feel like you're trying to believe something so strongly, and then you come on or you go on certain platforms and people are literally dismantling or coming from their own very personal place, like speaking authoritatively on things that, you know, even from your own experience is not necessarily fact. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Making sense.
But it is creating distance between me and those things that I know make it more shaky. And there's this also, I've also this whole blind, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like, okay, you're saying this thing to me, it's looking like it's making it blah, 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 but like, dude, this is what I choose to hold on to right now. And I think that sometimes you do things like that, and then you do, I don't know. I feel like I'm even talking. I don't know what I'm
No.
Does it
It's
make
been
sense?
actually, that's why my voice is now low. It actually makes a lot of sense. 100%
really?
makes sense, yeah. So thank you to that person, and thank you to Dimma who asked the question.
Okay.
Someone asked if we have a girls' trip in the works. We were supposed to do something now.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to where? Maldives.
Somewhere, Sha.
We're supposed to go somewhere last year. Oh yeah, where are we going to go to? Let us agree.
We were supposed to go to Dubai.
Did we say Dubai?
Yes.
Or did we say Egypt at a point? Who was I talking Egypt with? Wasn't all you?
I never heard Egypt before.
Okay, Jola, let us agree here where we go. Where we will go. Let's go to Egypt.
I've been.
You've been?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I was a child. But to do what?
No, it's the pyramids. I've not seen them.
I've entered it before.
Okay.
It wasn't funny because I'm claustrophobic.
I read that they're so small inside.
Yes.
So where else can we
crawling
go?
for a while.
Have you gone to Senegal?
No, I haven't been to Senegal.
Can we go to Dakar?
Let's do that. Yeah, a girls' trip would be fun. Okay, this is going to be our last question. What's the age limit for your partner? How much older or younger can the person be? I want to hear your own first.
I've answered this question
I want to hear your
before.
own. Remind us.
Nobody should come.
Refresh our memory.
The last time I was like, I was like, I just can't have anything to do with someone who's very close to my age.
Is that what you really said?
That's what I said. And I was saying it that it has to be, there has to be serious age gap or somebody that I'm older than. I've also never had an issue with dating younger men. Like,
really?
No.
Oh.
Actually, so as I am now, like I am 32 and the guy is like 27, 28, 29. As far as I'm concerned, from 27, men, their brain begin to reset. So I think that there's an age group, like if I'm older than you, like you're 28, 29, from then onwards, like a lot of them tend to come across to me. Those of them who know what they want to, by that age, is seriously what they want. And outside of that, even when I was in uni, When I was in year 1, I could date an SS3 boy.
Dimma.
I could do it. What's there? When do people wear? When
So
I was in year 1.
Your boyfriend will be wearing uniform.
Yeah, when I was in first year, what are you people giving each other aside? I love you, I love you. I would date SS3 boy when I was in year 1.
Then you know,
17, 16.
you're not telling about Introtech homework. Always.
I had just finished writing Introtech. I'll help him. Listen. I don't,
Okay, fair
have
enough,
a problem with being like, or
older.
And I used to say much older.
Like
I
how?
not,
what were you thinking?
I was thinking like 8, because my parents are like 7 years. So I'll be like 8, 6 years. I'll be like from 5 years upwards.
What?
Like,
Like
ask me where.
Okay, where are you now? Where are you now? Like, what's your age?
What the fuck is the same sentence?
Okay, God don't catch you. God don't catch you. God don't catch you. Everybody, I want to announce to you that Chidinma, there's no age, there's no difference in the age. They are the same.
No!
They are the
He's
same.
older than me, don't mind her.
By how many months? No,
With
but that's
1
fair
year.
enough. I
With
think
1 year.
yeah.
You how?
If you talk,
Is he older than you?
if you talk,
Is it because I've left this girl since year 30?
no, I think
Jola, what's the age difference right now?
with who?
With the ghost. What's the age difference?
No. Let me first answer the
Jola,
question.
answer the question.
No, the question
Jola,
was
what is
what's
the
your
age difference?
preferred?
Jola,
My
no.
preference. My parents.
Jola,
Wait
what's
now,
the age difference?
at the come. My preference. So my parents actually only have 2 years between them, and
My
my
parents have
grandparents
7.
My grandparents had 1 month.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I grew up thinking that was really normal and healthy.
No, it's actually.
And then because
not
of
common.
my personality, I just never felt I would do well with someone who was much older than me.
Okay.
I just never thought we would work because when you argue with Nigerian men, they default back to respect. Especially when they are losing the argument. They're talking about how you're not mates, you don't know how to talk. About you're pressing my breast, which one is I don't know how to talk? The age of me and the age of the breast is the same.
I don't understand.
So waiting bring respect come the matter now. So so I think that's for me the max. I always said like I have like if we're really pushing it 4-year maximum, because anything more than that I think
Bro, I thought I would do 8 years at a point. I thought I could do 8, 9 years. Like,
that's your uncle now. Your father will have siblings. Don't mind me. But I genuinely just have always felt very strongly about being closer in age, being closer in experience, as long as the person is mature. And that's always been my stance, like 4 years. Because in my mind also, like once you pass that, I start worrying about how it wouldn't even occur to me that you are trying to like date me if you approached me. And you are older. Yeah. Like I'll just think, okay, maybe he wants to do
so
business.
how many years is between the 2 of you?
2 of who?
You are the ghost.
It's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Please, my husband, if you are watching, I'm single.
Bye, guys. Excuse me. Don't mind this girl. This crook. Don't mind Jola. Okay, guys.
But this has been so much fun.
This has been so much
Why
fun.
was it serious? I wanted to come here and be cracking jokes. People are asking serious
questions. But this is good because some people will find this very insightful. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs
Dimma,
up.
you're fine.
Hey. Thank you. You are lovely. Okay.
But yes, please give the video
This
a
thing keeps
thumbs up.
focusing on the background, Jola. Let us sit down like soldiers and do this. Okay,
yes.
guys,
So yes,
give this video a thumbs up if you liked it.
Comments.
Leave comments for us. We
Yes.
want to read all of that.
Yes.
I'm going to leave Jola's YouTube channel in the description
No,
box.
that one you go leave now.
And the link to
Other
I Said
things,
What
other
I
things.
Said podcast and everything that is exciting that she's done, all the exciting stuff that she's done. I'm going to have all of that linked in the description box. We love you guys.
We do.
And I will see you in the next one.
I'll be here. You can't pursue me. I'll be here. Bye, guys.